Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Tiana. On today's video, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna talk to you about some personal issues that I've had for a long time and that I've been going through that has affected me now that I'm married and now that my husband and I are thinking about having a baby. Well, not thinking about, but we are trying to have a baby. If you're a little shaky, I'm sorry, you're on my bed. So to start off, I'm gonna tell you a bit of a backstory. When I was 15 years old, I went to the gynecologist for the first time, and I found out that I had polycystic ovarian syndrome. So if you're not aware what polycystic ovarian syndrome is, basically I have a bunch of cysts on my ovaries, right? And with polycystic ovarian syndrome, your hormones are all out of whack. Your menstrual cycle isn't always your menstrual cycle isn't always, what's the word? Regular. Isn't always regular. And a lot of women who have PCOS suffer from infertility. Of course, back then when I was 15, it didn't really bug me. The only thing that bugged me was that I bled a lot. There was this one point where I bled for 14 days, and it wasn't just like, oh, I'm bleeding a little here, a little there. No, guys, I would bleed bad, and I would cramp bad. I used to sleep in a bunk bed with my sister, and I would sleep on the top bunk. Sometimes I could not get out of my bed because it was unbearable. Normally for PCOS, especially if you're at that age, they normally just give you birth control, which birth control helps regulate your period, but also with birth control, so with PCOS, you have a bit more difficult time losing weight. You gain it faster because of all your hormones, and it's a lot harder for you to lose it. Well, whenever they gave me birth control, your birth control, helps you gain weight. And so with that, my weight went up. Not a whole lot, but especially because I was 15 and still growing, and you couldn't really tell because I had big old boobs and I was little, but I could tell, and so with stuff like that, I struggled with it, and I took it for a while, and for a while it really didn't matter because I was 15 years old and I didn't need to worry about fertility, and it didn't really click in my head that I had PCOS, because it really didn't matter. And the way that they found out is they did a vaginal ultrasound, which, if you don't know what that is, it is very uncomfortable. They basically put a condom on a stick, and they stick it in your vagina with some of that gel that they use, that lubricant, and it is cold. Sometimes they warm it up, sometimes they don't, and it's just very uncomfortable. And basically, they maneuver it to go either to your ovaries or to your to your uterus. So yeah, and so basically, yeah, that's what happened. And so whatever, time went on, and it didn't really matter to me again because I was a kid. Well, I kept on taking birth control, and I took it from 15 to about 18 years old, or 19. I stopped taking it because, if you guys don't know, you're not supposed to be on birth control for too long, because if you do, it becomes harder for you to be pregnant. And at that point, I was a little bit more well-rounded on what PCOS was, and I was more aware of it. But I wanted to plan for the future, so I was like, you know what? At that point, it didn't matter, so whenever I was 19, I was with Jose, so, we used other forms of protection to, so we ended up doing that, and then whenever I was 21, I was placed on another type of birth control, but because of for some reason, so whenever I go to the doctor, I get nervous, right? My blood pressure gets high, whatever, you know. For some reason, my doctor put me on this type of birth control that was for high blood pressure specific, and that messed me up because instead of the birth control making my period regulate, it made it longer and I bled for freaking days. And what sucked was that I was in the police academy and I was running and doing all this stuff and I was cramping bad. I was bleeding profusely, like I was bleeding so bad. So I just got myself off of it, and then in 2017 I was also on birth control, right? Which we had, I think Jose and I had just gotten married, so it was like 6 months after we got married. I was on birth control, right? And then I got off of it because I didn't want to be on it too long. And so fast forward. All right, and so fast forward to about, I want to say sometime last year, like I want to say like in November, October, Jose and I really wanted to start trying. And so we started taking, you know, like small steps, like, you know, I was logging my days, the days I was on my period, using Flow or Glow. I was actually using both. And I was using different ovulation kits, and then I was using the Clear Blue ovulation kit, which this one, if you don't know what ovulation kits are, is basically it lets you know when you're ovulating, which with what ended up happening was that I wasn't ovulating. So Jose and I would try, and we would use, you know, pre-seed, which if you don't know what pre-seed is, it's a lubricant that's supposed to help basically support the sperm quality and stuff like that. And so basically, you know, we started trying, and we would do it on the days that we're supposed to. Nothing would happen, obviously because I wasn't ovulating. And so I wanted to go to the doctor, but I didn't really have really good insurance, and it was super expensive, especially if you want to see a fertility doctor. It's extremely expensive here in the United States. So about, let me see, about a month ago exactly, I started taking trips to Laredo, Texas, and Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, which is why I've been going to Mexico. So I've been going to this fertility doctor, this fertility clinic called Clinica Realidad Reproductiva. And there's a doctor, Doctora Edalí Lara Rangel, and I will post all their information down in the description box if you are interested. And I found them because I was just Googling, honestly. I was just Googling and looking up different, I was just looking up different, like, OBGYNs and different fertility doctors, you know, because fertility doctors are expensive. And so the first time I went, you know, I told her, I was like, you know, my husband and I are trying to conceive, and it's been difficult because I have PCOS, and, you know, my period is never regular. All right, whenever I tell you that my period is not regular, my period doesn't always come when it's supposed to. And I normally have it anywhere from 7 to 10 days. Now, a normal period is about 5 days. So, that is not normal. Like, really, really weird periods, you know, so it was never weird. So whenever the doctor went in and she started looking at me, she started by, well, first, you know, she did a regular pap smear, and then she did a vaginal ultrasound, which I'm gonna go ahead and show you pictures here, and they're gonna be a little difficult to see because it's right here. So these are pictures of my ultrasound. On this picture here, you will see my endometrium, right? So your endometrium is only supposed to be about 1/2 inch, which is 10 millimeters, right? Well, mine was measuring 30 millimeters. And if you don't know, so basically your endometrium is like basically like this, right? Well, basically this part was like this, and this is all you could see because there was a mass in this area right here, the part that is circled right here. I'm not sure if you can see. And so my doctor was worried about that because you can get endometrial cancer. So basically the first step that she had me do was she had me take Provera, which it is a progesterone, right? So it normally helps whenever you have a heavy menstrual cycle, which I do, due to hormonal problems. And it also prevents the thickening of the uterine lining, which is what she was trying to do. She was trying to get it smaller, right? Because if she didn't, then she was going to have to, basically, if that medicine did not work, she was going to have to put me on, she was going to have to give me, get a biopsy done to make sure that there was nothing that was cancerous there. The next thing she did was she took a picture of my ovaries. Here, hold on. All those little black spots there, those are the cysts that are on my ovaries. Okay, so the next time that I came back, it had a different, basically I went back on April 12th, right? I went back on my birthday. So from the 22nd of March to the 12th of April. So basically like 3 weeks or so. Okay, so this next time she prescribed me metformin, which metformin is normally used for diabetes, but in my case it enhances ovulation and it regulates periods, right? So again, I don't ovulate, so every single time that I was taking these clear blue tests, I would get nothing, basically. The way it shows you, like right here, I would get that face. I wouldn't get a face because, I wasn't ovulating. I'm so sorry. I'm getting super sleepy. All right. The next thing that she had me take was folic acid, which it's a vitamin that they normally give to either pregnant women or women that are trying to get pregnant. And it basically, it produces and it maintains new cells. The next part that she gave me was Provera again. And this Provera, you take it for 10 days daily. All right. And the way that she set it up here, right here, was that she labeled the days. So she did 1 through 10, right? And she labeled the days that I was supposed to be on my period. So I was supposed to be on my period on the 25th of April, but I received it on the 21st, right? Because mine is weird, right? So on the 21st, that's whenever I start, right? So once I was 3 days in, or 2 days in, on the 3rd day, right here, she had me start taking Moments, which Moments is this medication here. This medication here, it is in Spanish it's clomifeno, but clomiphene, I don't know, something like that. That's how it's pronounced. And basically, it's an estrogen modulator, which I have too much estrogen, and it promotes ovulation. So something else that promotes ovulation, right? And this one, I'm supposed to take it from the 3rd to the 7th, right? Which is what I did. On the last day, which I don't have the boxes for it. On the last part of this, I was supposed to take Medional. So right here where the little arrows are at, from this day to this day, I was supposed to take Medional. And basically, it was like an injection. And that is supposed to stimulate my ovaries, right? So that they can produce eggs. So I did that, right? And on that last day, I wasn't supposed to do anything, which that last day was the 30th, which was yesterday. So yesterday I went to the doctor, and she ended up putting another shot of that Meridional, because my I guess like they weren't stimulated enough. She wanted, so the reason that she was able to tell how stimulated they were is because my cysts grew, right? So my cysts grew, and they grew up to originally they were 10.2 millimeters, and they grew to 16.7 millimeters, right? That was on the right side, and on the left side they were 11.7, and it grew to 14.1. So she gave me one more shot so that they can be where they needed to be. She didn't tell me what. She wanted them to be at 18, I know for sure. So she gave me that one shot so that it can stimulate them a little bit more. And today I took Ovidrel, which is this shot right here. Basically it's a little pen, and everything is already in here. You move this like this. It has this little number here, and all you do is you move it down and up, and it'll basically give you how much you're supposed to take, right? Okay, well, Ovidrel is it's an HCG, which, and it's supposed to cause, hold on. It causes, so basically, HCG, it causes the growth and the release of a mature egg, which it's whenever you're ovulating, right? This means that I should be ovulating Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And from the 5th through the 16th, she wants me to take Gesletin. It's a progesterone, and it's gonna prepare the uterus for pregnancy, right? Okay, which means that on 5, 6, 7, no, on 3, 4, 5, we're gonna do the dirty deed, right? The business. And then on after the 5th, which is the 5th, I start from 5th to the 16th, I start taking this medicine. And on the 20th, she said that if by that time my period has not come, then I need to take a pregnancy test. Okay. So she said that if I am not pregnant by that day, then my husband and I both have to go in for testing, to do further testing, because it could be my husband, or it could be something else that I have, which they had done a test, like they did a test on me before, and it showed that I didn't have any signs of not being able to get pregnant, you know. So this is something that you know, that's really hard for me to talk about, because every time I think about it even more, it sucks that my body isn't doing what it's supposed to, you know. You know, my body is supposed to, you know, already know that it's supposed to produce babies, you know, but I don't, you know, and it sucks, because like what happens if you know, I can't have babies or whatever. And I always think about that, and it sucks, and I shouldn't think like that, you know, because it's not like we've been trying for years and years and years, but we've been together 6 years, you know, like we know what we've been doing, and we've never had even an oopsie daisies, you know, or even a false pregnancy, you know, or I don't know. So I wanted to come on here, and I wanted to share that with you guys, because I know I'm not the only person that suffers from this. I know I'm not the only person that suffers from infertility, from PCOS, from having issues, you know, and I wanted to share with you what I'm doing. You know, I know it's not ideal for everybody to go to Mexico, but for me it worked, you know, and for me she's been great. My doctor is great. I really like her, and I really recommend her. She does treatments for men as well, so you know, it's not just women. She will give you she's really good. At least check her website out. She's also on Facebook if you want to check her Facebook out. I really recommend her to you guys because although nothing has happened yet, like she told me, she's like honestly, she's like, you're reacting really really well to the treatment. So if your body reacts the way it's reacting right now to the second part of the treatment, which is the Ovidrel and the gestatin, she said that it should work, you know. And if it doesn't, then, of course I'm going to be hurt, and it's going to suck because, yeah, it's not like it's inexpensive, but it's less expensive than here, but it still costs money, and no, we're not made out of money, we don't have the best jobs, but we have what we have and we know what we can work with, which is why I'm able to go over there. So guys, please let me know please let me know down in the comments if you guys struggle with this or if you guys have struggled with this. This is something super personal and something that like I didn't know if I wanted to talk about it, because not even everybody in my family knows that I'm like, that's why I want to, that's why I've been going to Mexico, because I'm trying to get pregnant, and yeah, no, I'm not where I want to be in life, but I know that people, I don't want it to get to a point where Jose and I struggle for so many years to have a baby and then we can't have one, that's why I wanted to start soon. I mean, I'm not young. I mean, I'm not super super young, so I mean, we've been married for, in August we'll make 3 years. We've been married for 3 years, and that it's something that we both want. Yeah. And I just gotta keep on praying and doing what I'm doing, and this isn't the only thing I've been doing. I've been going to work out because I know it helps, I know I'm not at the body, I'm not completely fit or anything. I'm pretty unhealthy, but I've been going to the gym, I've been eating better, I've been trying to do better for my body so that it can be ready, so that it can help, because it doesn't help that I'm, for my height, I am overweight, but let's be real, I'm 4'10". I'm not gonna be 90. I think it's 91 pounds is where I can be at. I'm like, no. Anyways, but yeah, guys, I wanted to share that with you, my experience with infertility, my experience with PCOS to you, because, even if you aren't trying to conceive, PCOS still sucks, and I want to share with you, what I'm on. I'm on metformin, and I've been on it since April 12th, and this period did not even last long, guys. This period, I wasn't bleeding a lot, which was phenomenal. I have not bled that much in a long time. I normally have to use the my sister bought me the Super Plus. Hold on, I'll show you. So my sister bought me the Super, the Super tampons, Tampax from Tampax Pearl from Costco. And I didn't even have to use the Supers, guys. I used them on the first day, and that was it. On the rest of the days, I wasn't bleeding a lot, and it was great. It was wonderful. And and that's what another thing that she expressed to me is that, your doctor should have done something else than just put you on birth control. She's like, birth control, yes, it works for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody. She's like, and she's like, I'm not, gonna offend you, but did your weight go up? And I'm like, yeah. It did. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to share my experience with you with PCOS, with infertility, with what my husband and I are going through, and my experience with Clinica Realidad Reproductiva. I would definitely look into her if you are able to, if this is something that you can do. I would definitely look into her. She's really good, and she's worked so far for me. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions or comments or anything, don't forget to leave them down in the comment section. I will link down below her website and her Facebook as well. Also, guys, you know, like, thank you so much for listening. I know this is a different type of video, but thank you so much for you know, tuning in to Talking with Tiana. Again, my name is Tiana, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.